Grim Dawn is a game where divine family arguments get defenestrated on your mortal plate. I used to be a plague doctor, but after surviving some green Casper the ghost setting up shop in my skull and some mild brain damage, I flipped my entire medical career backwards and weaponized that which I swore to fight. Can you beat Grim Dawn using only bloody bugs? I named myself Bluemancer to get heavy-handed from the start. In hindsight, I could have added a 19 to the end and really committed to the bit. Or gone with Pestilence and embraced my destiny as the most pretentious horseman of the apocalypse. Before I was unleashed upon the undead masses, Mr. Headbutt the Belt Sander promoted me to the next square on the bureaucratic ladder. The message was simple: help or else. With diplomacy concluded, I squeezed past the undead bridge wardens, took a sharp left at the intersection, and booked a cruise to Hargate's Isle. According to my self-imposed rules, Bloody Box was the only thing allowed to deal damage. Unfortunately, 2 hurdles stood between me and the magical chicken box. That meant law notes were now a part of a balanced breakfast, and I had to dodge enemies like snails off the rain to get those calories. Hargate's paper got me to level 2. Francis's note and the Harbour Master's log covered the last gap. My portable bioweapon was unlocked, just like the great legend who once placed a bucket and a broom at the highest peak said. This is where the real game begins. The world is my glam before the storm. Now, I've tried using this skill before. Every attempt followed the same pattern. Bloody Bugs would arrive like a rock star, dominate the early game, and then spend the second half of the run face down in a ditch. So far, everything felt familiar. My plan was to ignore side quests, unless they committed the courtesy of convenient distance from the shortest path. As luck would have it, one of them promptly met the minimum requirements. I handed out complimentary samples of my inverse treatment, scrubbed all guards' little rejects nearby, and prepared to return the lost soldier to sender.
Of course they found me the moment I turned my back.
With the village idiot safely somebody else's problem, I moved on to contaminate Burial Hills. There, I discovered that rocks can, in fact, contract terminal illness.
Take that, Wayne Johnson.
Recently, this boss has filtered my previous challenge runs. This time, the threat level barely reached coffee filter. 18 seconds. That was its entire character arc.
It's time to face Grandma Sparkles. I believe this time, I am the one who's toxic.
With that Cupid stunt destroyed by my virulent arguments, my brief pit stop at a dump site got interrupted by some jovial puppies rushing over to sample my flesh. Somewhere in those woods, a trader sat trapped in a scaly cage. I made a mental note to rescue him. Milton Hart punctually raised that note. He shouldn't take it personally. 80% of the shrines also slipped my mind, and those are kind of important. Deep underground. I resisted the urge to sing Diggy Diggy Hole, put another one of the Johnson family back into the ground, and maxed out Bloody Parks. Freshly empowered and outside, I paid Dunce a talk in, then discovered that Bloody Parks had effectively evolved into a delete button. I moved on to borrow Angelica's hammer and handed it to its rightful owner. I was hoping Dunce's magic smithing would become useful later. Spoiler alert, I completely forgot he existed. Some minutes later, I ran into the malformed brothers. They almost gave me a challenge, but just as my health started debating whether the glass was half full or half empty, I got stronger mid-battle, like the pure-blooded peasant prince that I am. After scrubbing the Purp Witch village gate clean with disease, I took a brief detour portal back to the burial cave for a shrine, an uncharacteristic moment of competence. Then I made sure to pick up the cultist orders, because Direni. His poor decisions kept generating paperwork for me. It felt strange to be this strong, this early. My previous 2 challenge runs had not prepared me for this reality. I guess not every challenge has to be a prolonged medical emergency. But, worry not, the prognosis still looked grim. For my next trick, I expanded my disease outreach program and rescued Dalek, then made a home visit through Greek's mini-mansion, and survived another extinction event by the power of my peasant bloodline. In the warden's cellar, I turned the infestation into an infection. Nothing down there posed a threat to me. The warden's bouncer did not get that memo. He resisted, briefly. After just a small moment of some carefully panicked screaming, he was discharged from active duty in a coughing fit, leaking from every available exit. The warden's first form had the potential to be dangerous, mostly because of his invisible magic circles and his unavoidable stun gun. I'm fairly certain a better player could have dodged all of it. I was not that player. Fortunately, the warden's participation in my clinical trial produced excellent results. We moved on to the second phase of testing, and he done can't run out of cheap tricks. Everything was within the realm of just keep running in circles.
We'll see about that. He said I can truly kill him. Yet what is he doing now? The ketchup inside his body turned into a sleeping hazard on the ground.
Back at Devil's Den, I prepared my body for a thick shower of creamy praise. That didn't happen. Instead, I was handed a to-do list, a crystal for the snow globe brain, and a thorough sanitation of the scaly latrines for Barbababa. Before getting started, I pushed Bloody Bugs a little further down the evolutionary ladder, and maxed out the wasting perk, which sounded just delightful. Then I faced nothing special that happened in the sewers, other than me fisting a new pair of trousers from the Snake Queen's corpse. Standard procedure. More importantly, back on the surface, I noticed something alarming. The water from the pump actually changes from green to clear after you complete the quest. After 695 something hours of pretending to understand this game, this was the first time I had ever seen it.
Good job, game developers, for putting these details in the game, just so I can ignore them.
After patching Direni out of existence, and finally getting pumped full of congratulations, I was edging into level 17. For my next assignment, I set out to deliver a weapon-grade housewarming gift to Mr. Shanksalat, and failed to pay attention.
Oh, by the way, I just took down a mini-boss. Wow.
After that, I rushed to not rush judgment on the trader dude, confirmed that Ghost 2 can catch the fatal flu, and returned to the rest stop for another slice of that experience pie. I've got some comments that Squid China is not suitable benchmark for these challenge runs. Some suggested that the Forgotten God pass would work better as a goal, so I decided to ignore the main quest for now and deal with that instead. First, the cultist went out of their way to invite me here. Then, after a long and harrowing loading screen, they had the audacity to hit me with a trial to see if I fit in. The trial was no problem. I just needed to retcon some mutant puppies from the canon timeline. But still... Following that, I had to choose between 3 lunatic sects to serve. I usually go with Piscilla for... reasons. But I decided to be a big boy and pick the cult that could technically benefit my choice of medical specialization. Spoiler alert, I never made use of it in any way anyway. Should have sided with the national treasures. The god of the new world gave me my first mission. Deal with 3 different groups of bad guys in 3 different places, all at an inconvenience distance from each other. The first municipal speed bumps in the way were non-binary creatures filled to the brim with maggots. Gross. The second spiritual hurdle was anything that needed breaking. My entire academic background was invested into magic instead of a stable wrist. The local flavor of spirits wasn't immune to my brand of damage, but they were annoyingly resistant. I considered them peak irritants until I met the giant possessed armors. They were fast, hit hard, and took forever to stop resisting. The quest monsters weren't any better. They treated my bubonic attack like a mild rash. Luckily, they couldn't wrap their non-existent brains around corners, so I could just peek, cast, and wait until they stopped participating in unlife. As I defeated the last of the first group of bad lads, I noticed something unsettling. The durability and firepower of incoming enemies kept creeping up with a bothersome pace. The dungeon boss would like to emphasize that previous sentence in bold.
Ooh! Ow, 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 ow!
Back on ground level, I set my sights on Corvan Sands, where the next sample of angry 4-legged Muppets came barreling at me at Sunday driving speeds. They were barely any trouble, actually quite easy. In the same postal code, I found some green butthole on the ground, but I wasn't allowed to enter, which goes against everything I stand for, but whatever. It then occurred to me that I had gone to inconvenient lengths to avoid poisoning a dog in my previous video. Yet here I was, poisoning rejected canine concept art by the dozen, in Chiron Dogs. I was too busy relating to Anakin's feelings about sand to notice that the third group got demolished. That's what they amounted to. Clearly, my method of conduct was getting increasingly sophisticated. The medical term for this is acute protagonist dialogue leakage.
Should I yell the skill every time I cast it like a shonen anime? Bloody bugs! Bloody bugs! Bloody bugs!
After grabbing the next checkpoint, I returned to camp to get that pat on the back from Kira and picked up my next job, go to a place and send a trader back into the void. Didn't care for details, my magic was locked and loaded. On the way, I hit level 23 and invested those DNA points into evolving Bloody Bugs into its final form, Black Death. The new cocktail included fever, confusion, and poison damage. Delightful. The insert name of place here dropped a lot of scepters that aligned with my interest, and I had just reached a physique capable of using them. A lot of them had increasingly silly names. My favorite was Decaying Scepter of Decay. Not long later, I entered the Sanctuary of Traitors. Even with my damage potency, the giant walk-in armors were still like a lingering smell, persistent and annoying.
Ah, these towering behemoths. Just go down, please! There we are, and now for the driver.
That's about what made this place special. The traitor herself though. She initiated a surprise game of dodgeball, and it was not the fun kind. I was also very jealous of her projectile vomit attack. It was majestic like a dragon's breath, if the dragon was sick and busy expelling demons from its tummy. The brown chunks mixed in there had me concerned. Occasionally, she chucked poison meteors or whatever at me, and those slapped the fear of gods back into me. But after dodging all the pus oozing out of her, she eventually crumbled under the power of virulent waterboarding, like a paper tiger in front of a humidifier. Back at Conclave, Kira paid me by talking about her feelings. Then she handed me the directions to the cult oracle, boss and Hawker, a man of many talents. Apparently, we hadn't had enough underground yet. I had to pass through another set of tunnels on the way. The see-through chitin of the beetles filled to the bulging with maggots forced me to stop and ponder the logistics. Are they parasites? Or is that just how they reproduce? Once again, Rose. That's when I remembered to spend my accumulated constellation points. I guess I was looking up for comfort. No research, no hesitation, just more damage. It was a walk in the cake until... At the Vanguard, I learned I should think twice before getting mangled in a magical merry-go-round. The truth is, however, I did not think even once. The Jack of no trades gave me my next job. Wade through a make-believe reality and cross Mindreaver like a crushed aluminum can. Not a bad fight, just dodge the chili sauce like your life depends on it and you'll be fine. The DLC was almost done cooking. The only thing left now was pulling out the divine weed so the garden can flourish. I'm off to slay a god. The way to the tomb of the Eldritch Sun was arduous and unnecessarily dramatic. Zealots began occupying the gallery of possible enemies. Their guns hit hard, and their magic didn't lag behind. Some chunkers joined the mixer, thick, strong and fast. Their running animation forced me to hold back my laughter. One thing I was thankful for. The map actually made sense. I managed to take the shortest path every time, so I never stopped doubting myself. From this point on, whenever I ran into ranged enemies, I had to play peekaboo to avoid getting dropped like a politician's campaign promise. As long as I stayed on target, the rest of the journey wasn't really all that bad, just very long and very committed to exhaustion.
No.
Just a walk over burning coals.
Luckily, they can't use doors, just like the aliens in Sign.
Despite what I said, I was going the wrong way, so I had no choice but to return outside to face the music. Once I finally reached the tomb's bouncer, I had the option to skip the dialogue. More games should allow this.
No time for talk, attack! Yeah! Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, chill, Padamaka, that hurts. And he laughs too, I hate it. Another potion? Please and thank you. Okay, it's a... Ooh! Volcano under my butt. From the frying pan into the lava.
Have a taste.
You have a taste of your own meddling, you idiot. I win. War of attrition.
The guy lying on the ground then talked just forever. Eventually, the best part came. He sacrificed himself to open a door and finally shut up. As my reward, I got another boss barreling at me and a face full of purple puke. Twice.
No! My first death. We have something he doesn't. Infinite lives.
The secret source to victory was running to the side and not the same way as the car was going.
Wish I could teabag right now. Black Death is maxed out. Onwards, brothers. To glory.
Inside the tomb, zealots kept herding. Between needing bullets, the chunkers did their best to turn me into jerky. And sometimes it felt like some deity was just personally annoyed with me.
Ooh la la la. That hurt like heck. There's a door here. I'm gonna run and leave those guys behind.
And that was just the first floor. I had also run out of constitution, which didn't improve my odds. My strategy of hiding behind cover and only stepping into the line of fire to shoot back didn't really hold up anymore. Deeper still, I barely survived the monsters of a desecrated shrine by a lucky level up that refilled my HP. On the third floor, there was another bouncer. I took the dialogical shortcut. For some reason, his part reminds me of a boss in Diablo 3. Butcher or something, I don't know. It wasn't too bad. Then I had to trudge through another make-believe dimension. It was just the worst.
No. It's so hard to dodge on these things. Freaking invisible walls, can't even jump down if I want to.
Then it was finally time for me to scream around the room. The boss confidently took half of my HP in a single strike. Or, you know, most of it. Depended on his mood, I guess.
Ooh. No.
It took 4 more deaths of me cannonballing my body into a semi-guard to get the job done. It's what I get for becoming, medically speaking, a glass cannon. But at this point, stubbornness had fully taken control. There could be no other end.
Please heal, 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 heal. No!
Shiva from Mortal Kombat was reportedly forced to consider alternative career options.
Hopefully, we'll get a nice cascade of handshakes.
After all that, I still had a quest of vague description contaminating my sidebar. Something about returning a stupid amulet, and that really bothered me. Whatever, the DLC was done, or at least that was the question. Do we consider the challenge beaten? Well, I actually bought this before starting Forgotten Gods. You So I started on the other DLC too. I'm going to spare you most of the unimportant details until the DLC, since I already went into more main story detail in my previous video. So, here comes a lightning round of greatest hits. It surprised me how much even the pebbles by the roadside hurt my feelings. Some skeletons became a case study in aggressive outpatient care, and we could safely conclude they were not immune to my special brand of Medicare. When I cleansed the shrine by the roadside, I finally got my first ring that survived my "only damage please" filters. Side note, I was also rocking soiled trousers. I cannot escape my destiny. As a quick detour, I slithered back to rescue the previously forgotten trader, just to purge it off my quest bar. Back on track, the freaky pit enjoyer sucked me with the amount of damage he dished out. The path to Grunley was littered with gun-toting lunatics. Bullets hurt, and they are difficult to dodge. That's an apt description.
Suburban's dog.
Something like that die.
Grunley joined me in running laps around his lair. Despite getting some blood flow up all the way to the cortical level, he did not realize the error of his ways. The few friends he summoned along the way, he infected them himself with the correctional medicine he periodically received.
Well, that was easy.
Is there any reason not to take some of the crystal with you when you break it? Hit me up if you know. Skeletons are slow and stupid, but they explode beautifully, like an army of golems made of popsicle sticks. While crossing the Arcavian subway, I expanded my medical practice with possession. With my class mastered, my cunning and physique peaked, meaning I could easily toss any item that had one of those two words in red. I had been going all in on spirit for no adequately explored reasons. The super mutant behemoth was built like a traffic jam, and just as angry. He could do nothing about the conducted involuntary clinical trials. As tradition demands, I fertilized the fields with the insides of my enemies. The fields would be usable again soon, since the half-life of my biological nuke is only 3 or so days, while the shelf life is magical. In Homestead, I didn't really improve the situation in any way for the common folk, and just started immediately working for the Black Legion. The worst the amalgamation could do was painting the edges of my screen in stress. I chose Death's Vigil again, obviously. Iman's bishop got kicked off the board earlier by yours truly anyway. Nobody in the Bastion cared about the stupid amulet infecting my quest bar. In the Blood Grove, the dual pistol maniac was trouble again. Taking him out was like playing Counter-Strike with tear gas. I imposed a personal time trial, finished the main story in one sitting. And that's why I had to resist the urge to pick up experience pies, saving time. The Metro Guard learned me, red rocks do not care. The tunnels were effectively a slog uphill through winter molasses. Nothing new there. Carlos changed that.
You dare bring light to my lair? You must die.
Like every good anime villain, he unleashed his final form. I saw my life flashing by. The 2 red rocks were about to fire, but the boss hit the end of his free trial of terminal illness at the exactly right moment, and I leveled up. Possession got maxed. My damage jumped to a whopping 5500 and some chains, and I started dumping points into Curse of Frailty. Debuffs are allowed, as long as they don't technically deal damage.
Cursing time!
Regardless, the pop I get from the Gato tier enemies when casting Bloody Bugs is very satisfying. I poisoned a group of cows, hit the 4th icon armory. Bullets still hurt, in case you were wondering. Because I had been avoiding side quests like the plague, I only had 1 extra inventory bag. The sentry bot looked like something drawn from memory, while under the influence of questionable substances. It got sick and had to be sent to the big farm in the garbage bin. Then I got just freaking annihilated by the mines on the plains of strife. You'd think I would have learned from the first time, but nope, that would have apparently been a little too much. The worst part is, I think they might be Black Legion mines, and I accidentally mineswept most of them. If there is no battle, do they still call it the Plains of Strife?
In this universe, planes are named after Final Fantasy VII characters.
This time, I remembered to look for the northern blood wagon in the south, but somehow found the western one only after walking east. It's always something.
Whee! Frick me chugging! Almost lost my life there when I almost lost my life.
The steroid eels in the underground passage were surprisingly resistant to my hentai virus. The glowstick variant, even more so. And it hit like it had been lifting. Not long later, I hit level 37, maxed Curse of Frailty, and started pumping points into a performance-enhancing mutation. From there on, it was smooth sailing, as long as I treated everything like a bullet hell game.
Oh, I just walked into a dead end. Groovy, swell, neat.
The Bloodlord went down so easily my brain started gaslighting me whether he had ever been a threat at all. Squid China herself was barely a fight. I just ran in circles, refreshing the disease and ignoring reality. You know how patients sometimes get better right before they die? Yeah, that didn't happen here. Back at the fort, I watched Creed yell ancient profanities at Hermeia's Mora. To what end? Not sure. Didn't pay attention. Then Captain Stiff Drink and some lady rifted in to report that Devil's Den had been attacked by Howell's moving energy drink factory. The lady tried to sow seeds of panic like some sort of horse whisperer, but Creed wasn't phased, not even a little. In any case, I need to get into Malmouth to stop the heart of the arterial invasion. I was hoping for a guided tour. Before setting out, I spent several unsuccessful minutes trying to pawn off that stupid amulet again. Briefly visited Devil's Den to admire the aftermath, then obsessed over the amulet some more. Back on track, I stopped by the old neighborhood and headed north. While I'd been getting stronger, the local boob munchers had apparently neglected their training. Tut tut. To reach Malmouth, I needed to cut through some nasty bugs, because of course, for a while, I was worried the resident Thirdslingers might be more resistant to disease than normal. They weren't. Tanky enemies were tanky, and that's about the full extent of the mystery. After veering off the beaten path and purging a shrine, I finally connected some darts using the 15 accumulated constellation points targeting anything that mentioned vitality damage. Most notably, I tied Ghoulish Hunger to Possession because, scientifically speaking, it's just a defensive ability and therefore completely innocent. Moments later, I made a pit stop at Flooded Depths to pick up some takeout. Specifically, the heart of a deep-dwelling granddaddy crab, a perfectly normal hostess gift for the fine folks running my next quest hub. Back on ground level, I got confused by the minimap quest constellation still lingering on the cave entrance. Naturally, I wasted several extra minutes searching for the cavern things I'd missed. I did find more crabbies, but ghost types this time. Soon after, I reached Undenbark Refuge, met the hostess, and handed over the takeout ticker. Something I forgot to mention. During the fight with Squid China, Ulgrim got swallowed by the void, so while we were planning to genocide the Ethereals a little, we were also looking for our missing bro. Turns out our hostess knew him too. Despite that, she refused to help unless she got something in return. So, next task, drudge through more swamps, all the way to Barrowholm, and recover a stolen shield generator. Aren't swamps just the best? I love them, especially in the Souls games. Games should have more swamps. Sarcasm. On the bright side, I was surprisingly durable despite investing almost exclusively in offensive medicine. Having this pleasant a time in poison bogs was not an experience I was accustomed to. Among the rubble of the place where I needed to be, I was presented with a choice. Help Barrowholm in exchange for the shield generator, or, you know, just take it by force. I chose the greater good. While scuffling in the cellars to reach the shielded thing, I learned that my natural immunity to bullets hadn't strengthened at all.
Ooh, okay, that was cool, but ow.
A new problem that reared its unwanted face. The automatic controller targeting system had decided that boxes were now a higher priority than living organisms. This would have been useful if boxes could contract terminal illness. They could not, nor did they help spread it. In the end, I had to poison their cellar dog to get what I wanted. After returning the thingamabob, I went looking for an altar north of Barrowholm. Got lost, because of course, found the communion table, and entered the red butthole. The enemies in the desolate wastes were durable, and that's about as much research as I was willing to conduct. I chugged through as fast as I could, entered another Eldritch Sphincter, and enjoyed the shifting color scheme.
No! No! Darn it, darn it, darn it! It's fine, it's fine. I panicked, because I had... Oh! Okay, the music got way too into it compared to how easy that was.
After passing the angry Batman to the mortuary crew, I found Ulgrim curled up and shot a few marbles. First, I pretended to be his mother, then the Emperor. I stopped before he got any ideas. He wasn't mentally equipped to handle the next part, fighting our way out, so he promised to shadow me while I handled the heavy lifting.
I will find us a way out. Not even a problem. Just stick close to me.
No lies were uttered. We were back outside in no time at all. I got my first blueprint of the run, and my curse potency caked out for the inconvenience. My sightseeing tour to Malmouth was long, but honestly, not all that unpleasant. Except for the part where I got lost looking for the silver entrance, and nearly had my buttocks gift wrapped and returned to the maker.
That... Oh, no. Have mercy, have mercy. Oh, that really hurt.
It didn't help that, at level 41, I decided to gamble with fevered rage. It doubled my damage for the low price of angrier and faster enemies. So anything that I couldn't immediately infect into non-existence sent me running and screaming instead. I also experimented with Blood of Creek. Turns out it healed me and increased the damage of bloody bugs. What a deal. Eventually, I found the sewers, and inside, something even dumber than me, if you can imagine such a thing.
Hey, I'm an ethereal spirit. I am claiming back the earth that once, allegedly, belonged to my race. What should I possess to make the maximum impact on our conquest? I know! How about that bloatworm in the sewers that can't move? That's an excellent idea. Good job, me. Wow.
Anyway, I interacted with the sewer creatures, then got sent to the Candle District to lower a bridge. Nothing too difficult, unless I personally went out of my way to make it difficult. The place did become a bit of a maze from there, but after enough elbow-deep trial and error, I found the bridge and killed the troll, while suffering the consequences of fevered rage doing me no favors. With the bridge lowered, the Black Legion joined the party in the sewers, and from there, I unsoiled the previously lost base of ethereals, while the freshly arrived reinforcements did what they do best, cheered from somewhere off-screen. The next thing I needed to do, recover a bomb to destroy a gate. The place was massive, but on the upside, I got to play Portable Plague Incorporated on a citywide scale. While touring the ruins, I found some survivors tucked away.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna take any side quests. You're on your own, good luck, sorry about the door.
Then I spent unforeseen amounts of time scouring the city for that stupid bomb, until after 13 whole grain minutes.
There we are, got it finally. Yes. Take that. That was such a long trek.
At the Crownhill Rift, Ulrich showed up to do the nothing that he does to help, and parked more orders at me. Next job, blow up some vents in the spirit of blood wagons. Just like how I struggle to comprehend the fleshy stairs, the Archmage couldn't wrap her head around concepts like curvature, distance and bullet drop.
They make Archmages out of anyone these days. What is the world coming to?
The many malformed Saphrodites didn't hold a candle to my ongoing struggle of finding the correct direction. During my searches, I found Valactria, another surprise dodgeball enthusiast. Other than scaring the crap out of me, the tried and true strategy of trotting in circles worked like as intended. Eventually, I found the floor sphincter I was looking for and entered the infestation. Remember that time when I said I turned the infestation into an infection? Yeah, it happened again. Wish I didn't already make that joke, but too late to go back and fix it now. I paused briefly to admire the tumor testicles and other pulsating crimes against creation. Couldn't help but wonder if I was actually making things worse or better for the spirit gang. The oversized animatronic decorations were also impressive in a deeply unfortunate way. Two guardians stood between me and the last boss. They were barely any trouble.
Hey guys, fancy seeing you here. Haha, I'm fine, just taking a break. Going back now.
With the Guardians dead, I was qualified to enter the Sanctum of Flesh, where the final boss immediately opened fire. He tried to summon minions, but they attempted to square up with their creator in confusion. The first form wasn't anything special, but on his second phase, he overcompensated, specking into legs, and proceeding to chase me around with alarming gusto.
Yeah, he's very fast, that's all because of me. Yeah, I find it funny too, honestly. Oh, third phase.
Just like how birds fly, he ignored gravity by the power of pure anger.
Okay, you know what, fine, you can keep humanity. Okay, there we are. That's what I was expecting.
Surprisingly, it was his deadliest form yet.
Oh, no, take it easy. No. Please, sir.
He paid back the humiliation in full, with interest.
Oh, my experience! Freak, I forgot to pick up my experience.
In the end, my deaths were just a statistics problem. The local ethereal infestation entered hospice care, and my last case study was forced to drink forfeit.
Yeah, so freaking easy.
After that, I found one more thing to add to my list of stupid deaths.
Okay, that'll teach me.
And that's where I hung my Plague Doctor gloves. Gotta stop before I fly too close to the fire, overcorrecting the world. And it starts to look like this. I think you'll find that you agree with me. Or not, I get it. So before things get out of hand, I beat Grim Dawn using only bloody bugs. And that's it for this time, folks. Do the engagement things if you wanna help out. May Lady Luck step on you and bless your loot. Thanks for watching, see you next time, take care now, bye then.